Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph and pretty much the overall market. But before we jump into this, I just want to let you guys know right now, if you guys do want to get your very own crypto poster, you guys can on Crypto Posters right now. There will be a link down in the comments below as well as in the description below as well. You guys can get on here and pretty much get yourselves a very own HBAR themed poster. I do think that we have two right now. I do got to make another one, but I will be releasing a lot more posters. I think that there's like, I want to say 12 or so. But if you guys do want to go get one, you guys can. Links will be down in the description below, like I said, and even in the comments below. But with that being said, let's actually jump into it. Let's actually talk about some stuff. So overall, the market is sitting stable, nothing too crazy to really report on. We're sitting at about 0.59%, sitting at about a $2.11 trillion market cap, and I do believe that this is going to range on similar like this for some time. Now, overall, let's actually look down and kind of look at what's happening with most altcoins. So overall, with Bitcoin, it's kind of just ranging here, nothing too crazy in terms of price action targets. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum and Bitcoin has been kind of just stable. We do still see some altcoins up significantly on the 7-day span. Solana, for an example, absolute beast. But we also see some other ones up, like ALGO. ALGO is up 109%. Now, this is actually one of my main holdings as well. It's in my top 15, I want to say. I've actually talked about ALGO quite some time on this channel, as well as even on my Twitter. I was actually buying ALGO under 40 cents, believe it or not. And I think that is a great asset, but I still think that Hedera Hashgraph is much, much more efficient. And we already see the market cap of ALGO at $12.4 billion. And we already know our best friend HBAR is sitting around that $3 billion mark. So you do the math on that. So in regards to HBAR, yeah, I mean, we've been making some solid moves, sitting stable for quite some time, sitting at about 20.5, or actually 21.8 now, percent up on the 7-day span, up almost 5%, sitting around that 32.8 cent zone, sitting at about a $3.15 billion market cap. Now, the interesting thing about HBAR is that we've been gaining some traction, right? We've been holding fairly strong. This is the weekly chart. And you know what's eerily similar to this chart is also Algorand, right? I've actually been watching these two for a little bit of time, but we actually see a little bit of the same pattern here. I know it's not exactly the same, but we do see, you know, some sort of similarities here, which is that nice downward, upward momentum. You could call it a cup and a handle, if you will. This is kind of that cup and handle. Here's the handle here, and then the breakout event. Now, the same kind of goes for HBAR, right? HBAR has been holding fairly strong in this nice little zone here. You pretty much say that this is the handle, if you will. But I do think that we're still building that nice momentum for the final breakout event. I do think that we need to break about 38 cents before we really break out. Now, I do know there was a little bit of a glitch yesterday, a little bit of a scam wick, if you will call it, that we wicked to 50 cents on Binance US. But I don't think that actually happened. I think it was just kind of a scam wick. It happens all the time. Glitches happen. But it could be telling us what we are in store for, especially if we look at the daily chart for HBAR, because we are showing very significant signs of strength. You know, even with Bitcoin, you know, doing its thing, ranging around that zone, we're kind of ranging around in this upward momentum path, a little bit under resistance at that 33 cent zone. But I'm actually watching this very closely because we could actually see a nice impulse above 37 cents, which I think 37 cents is our overall main target point. I think if we break this, we could pretty much range to get to that all-time high. There's a few resistance points up here that I do have mentioned, but there's nothing too crazy overall after this point. So, you know, down here I do have a lot of lines. I understand that this gets a little bit crowded down here, but there are significant signs down here to actually watch for. But I don't think that we see too much downward momentum. I think that we bounce perfectly off of the 30-cent zone. I think that is a strong support zone for us now, but I think that it was a strong support zone back, multiple times back here as well, back in the beginning of April. So who knows? Anything is possible. I'm watching very closely. I just think that Bitcoin holding above 46K is a fairly strong fundamental aspect to watch for. Right now, it is ranging around the 46.5K zone, and we're actually going to be talking about that as well. But for the most part, I'm watching 37 cents very, very closely. I do think that that is going to be the major breaking point, even going back to March and even talking about, the end of May. So with that being said, I also want to talk about the monthly chart. Because this is actually very bullish. Let me turn off everything so that we could actually watch this or look at it very, very closely. So we did have that nice bull flag pattern. It was kind of a downward momentum, if you will. Here is basically June. And then from July to now, it's just been uphill momentum for about 3 months, okay? And I said it multiple times when we talk about Bitcoin, when we talk about the market structure, things could easily break out opposed to Bitcoin. For an example, HBAR has been breaking out a little bit opposed to what Bitcoin's been doing. We're kind of decoupling, if you will, in quotation marks, but not fully yet. And the reason why is just because we need more, strength in terms of buy pressure. That's what happened with ALGO, right? So ALGO, for the most part, let me actually go to ALGO's Bitcoin pair chart. I think that would be the best way to actually analyze this. So let me go to the 1 week. So we do see here on the 1 week, it really broke out. And again, we're talking about highs going back to August of 2020. So a whole year. And this is the big key. I wanted to show you guys this line here. So here was the high back in February of 2021. This is actually February 8th. Now, the interesting thing is, and keep February 8th in mind, because that is the key here. So here's February 8th. This is the USD pair. So we had that major event where we made an all-time high of nearly $2, right? And then from there, it was just downward pressure because we pretty much were ranging with Bitcoin. We were doing what Bitcoin was telling us. Then we had this, right? A range to almost $2.54 almost roughly. And what ended up doing that for us was basically us just decoupling from Bitcoin and breaking out above those highs, going all the way back. We made a high going all the way back to the summer of 2020, which is crazy to me. Now, what is very significant about that for HBAR is that HBAR has been showing signs of strength. And as you guys see here, I even have it marked on the chart. We only need to break out of this line up here to get that nice influx. And this will be highs going even back to March of 2020 as well. So realistically speaking, from our current Bitcoin pair chart to that all-time high, right, from where we are currently sitting, we only need to go up about almost 17.5%. Now this is to break the all-time high, okay? Now this is 17.5%. If we talk about the overall USD pair for HBAR, to get to the all-time high from our current levels, okay, it is roughly about 39%. So you do see the difference here, right? So the Bitcoin pair only needs to move about 17.5%, and the USD pair has to move 40%. So realistically speaking, the major key component here to watch for is Bitcoin, the Bitcoin pair with HBAR, because that will tell us that we're ranging to the all-time high plus, and we'll have a similar breakout like the ALGO chart. Now, we could even talk about the Solana Bitcoin chart, because the Solana Bitcoin chart is also one that is very key here, because this goes all the way back to the highs in May, okay? And again, when we finally broke out of the Bitcoin chart pair, we see that major influx. After that, it went parabolic, right? Made a huge all-time high. And again, if we talk about the USD pair for this as well, we see that high that it printed on May 17th. Then we had that major breakout event, and it will follow through. Okay, so that is what I'm watching right now. I'm watching the HBAR Bitcoin pair because it really is showing signs of strength, and we're nearly there. We are nearing the breakout levels on HBAR. I can't tell you guys that enough. A lot of things are happening very, very fast. Also, just to show you guys real quick, let me go to the Binance US. So here is that 50-cent scam wick. Now, this wasn't 100%. This was not an accurate pump or anything like that. If anybody had sell orders up there, who knows? Maybe they got filled or whatever. But I'm just saying, this happens quite a bit. You'd be surprised. Now, this does not mean a new all-time high or anything like that. It's just a little bit of a glitch in the system, if you will. But I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. But in regards to this chart here, sorry, let me put that back. In regards to this chart here, I think that we look extremely bullish. I think that we have built some solid grounds here. And I honestly think that realistically, when we talk about where we are at and what we are doing, I think that we have built some strong support at that 30-cent level as well. I don't think that we break down too much further under 30 cents. Realistically speaking, we might retest a nice support zone, if anything. But I'm just happy that I had my bags packed for quite some time. You know, it doesn't hurt to even buy at these levels realistically, especially considering the fact that we are still about 17 or 39% away from the all-time high. So honestly, you know, if you don't have a bag of HBAR yet, it's never too late to get in, right? It's not too late. This chart here is the same chart on many other aspects, especially even going back to ALGO, right? A lot of these assets look the same in terms of that nice pattern, and it's only a matter of time before we have that major influx in terms of a price appreciation. A lot of charts actually look like this too. I think that HODL might be one of them, or no, I think that it was HOT, right? So let's actually go look at this. So it actually is HODL, I believe, or no. I know that Binance US actually had a similar altcoin that looked very similar. I think it might have been X or XTZ, so Tezos, right? I want to say at least. So let me actually go to this and let's actually see. So yeah, okay, so this is printing that nice pattern as well, right? That upward momentum, and this still has yet to break out. And this actually looks very similar to what HBAR has been doing going back to May. And in response to this, right, it's the idea that when we look at what's happening for a lot of these altcoins, when we look at, you know, for an example, ALGO, when we look at Atom, when we look at Solana, all of these altcoins have done this nice consolidation pattern where it's going into this nice little breakout event where it's that influx of price appreciation. And all of these charts are still doing that same thing. Even when we go look at Harmony, right? Harmony looks very, very similar to HBAR. That is because it's nearly at breakout events. And this is actually very similar to what Hedera has been doing, because think about it, right? This is the all-time high. It went to retest it, and Bitcoin dropped it, right? So now we are very close to a breakout event. And I guarantee you right now that a lot of people will be talking about Harmony very soon, because I think that it's only a matter of time before it actually breaks out of this all-time high and goes into price discovery. But again, when we look at this nice pattern, this is the same pattern that HBAR is in, and it is only a matter of time before we get to that breakout event, especially once we do see Bitcoin basically kind of decoupling from a lot of these altcoins. We've been seeing it. The pattern's been growing throughout the market, and HBAR is only a matter of time before it gets to that point. Now, I am watching two specific things. That is the dollar, as it is pretty much dropping in the overall demand. And we also see the indices closing very red today, so I'm watching those two factors right now currently. But with that being said, things look extremely bullish. I am not too concerned at all in the market. I think that HBAR, for what it's worth, looks very, very bullish, and it looks very ready to retest the all-time high and break out. So if you guys haven't gotten a bag of HBAR, look to get one very, very soon, because I don't think that you're going to have too much longer to buy this altcoin. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.